Hey mamas, welcome back to Proverbs 31 Fitness. I am Dr. Emily Brownlee, pelvic health physical therapist and mama to 4 under 4. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're so grateful that you're here. A little bit about me and the mission behind all of this is that I am a mom in the trenches with you. I went to PT school. I did continuing education in pelvic health. I have, the clinical background, the science supported, evidence-based background behind everything that I'm saying. But most importantly to me, I'm also a mom myself. I am in those trenches with my patients. I have been the mom screaming at her kids and then going, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I promised I would never be this mom. What's wrong with me? I have been the mom who had a baby and then wondered, am I ever going to be able to do the things that I love doing, like running, lifting? Is my body actually going to get back to that point? This is not just a theoretical issue to me. It's very deep and personal because I have been in those very positions that so many of my patients come to me in. Sometimes I still am. As I'm recording this, I'm only about 2 months postpartum from my fourth, and again, 4 under 4. So my body has gone through a lot. My nervous system has gone through a lot as well. And so I deeply, deeply care and can relate to so much of what my patients go through. And that's why this stuff matters so much to me. I was not content to just say, well, this is the textbook reason, this is what I learned. It made me deeply curious for what is really going on here and what is the most effective technique that I can use in my own life to heal my body, to support myself, to be the mother that I desire so deeply to be, that I know God has called me to be. And how can I also use those skills to help my patients heal truly, not just slap a band-aid on it, not just give them a few pelvic floor exercises and send them out the door, but truly, truly, what does it take to actually heal, to actually support a mother's body, brain, heart, and soul, to actually be the mother that God called her to be. So that's a little bit behind the mission and the vision and the passion behind Proverbs 31 Fitness, and that's kind of where I'm coming from with all of this. If you're just joining us for the first time, we have been going down a great little rabbit hole of why so many of us can find ourselves stuck in different symptoms, pain, challenges, postpartum, because so many of my patients do come to me in this position where this isn't the first thing they've tried by any means. They have taken all the supplements, they've seen all the providers, they're very frustrated, they're very discouraged because they just cannot get rid of that back pain or pelvic pain, or they're really struggling to lose weight postpartum, even though they're technically doing everything right. There are all of these things that I see over and over. And it is incredibly frustrating when we're putting so mumuch effort into these things and we're not seeing the results. And we start to really internalize that and think there's just something horribly wrong with us. And those are the cases that I'm getting goosebumps. I love, love, love to help moms like that, because I promise you, it's not you. It's that we tend to treat these issues in very isolated ways. So you have pelvic pain, we're going to treat your pelvic floor. You are tired, we're going to give you a thyroid supplement or a thyroid medication. It's very, I'm going to treat this one issue instead of looking at a mama as a whole person that God designed with all these intricate, beautiful systems that all work together. And it's a lot simpler to just treat one little piece of that. But if you actually dive into how God designed our bodies and our systems to all work together, how they function together, and you actually treat a mother from that perspective and framework, that's where we actually see the real healing occur. That's where we actually see lasting improvement, not just a slight improvement and then a plateau or even then a decline. I see that a lot when we are doing band-aid fixes. It might get a little bit better and then it just kind of stays at 50% better, but it's not actually ever healed. or we get a little bit better and then we actually go down the other way. So that's a little bit about my perspective, a little bit about what we've been discussing. We've been kind of trying to take that in little bite-sized chunks because many of us are super busy and we don't have 3 hours to sit down and discuss pain science. But 10, 15 minute, 20 minute, sometimes little chunks of that picture. And today what I would really like to encourage you is to stop doing pelvic floor strengthening until you've heard this discussion. Obviously, pelvic floor strengthening has its place. Pelvic health PT here, that's a lot of what I do, but I think so many of us are misled and we are doing this incorrectly and we're actually making things worse, not better. So I just want to paint a picture for you if this is something you can relate to or somebody that you know, so that it can either shed some light on your situation, or maybe this is something you should share with a friend if this sounds like somebody you know, in a loving, hey, I love you, maybe this is something you need to see kind of way. So if you just had a baby somewhat recently and okay, I know I'm supposed to do stuff to heal my body after this, right? I have heard some things about pelvic floor. I'm seeing that become more and more popular on Instagram. I see all of these influencers who are pushing, after baby workouts, postpartum workouts. They seem kind of fancy and complicated of all these little things they're doing. They're in some sort of plank and they're doing these different things. It's not just like push-ups, pull-ups, typical exercises. These seem more complicated, so they must be good, right? And they have their baby there and they look awesome. They look way better than I do, so they must know what they're doing. And so I'm going to do all of these strengthening exercises because that's what you need to do after having a baby, right? We need to strengthen our body back so that we can lose weight, so we can look the way we used to, so we can strengthen everything up because we don't want to be peeing our pants and stuff. And right, that's what we need to do. We need to strengthen it. It's weak if we're peeing our pants, right? And so we do all of those exercises from those mom fitness influencers who may or may not actually have any credentials or background or education in this area. It may just be from personal experience that they're putting this together. And you work so hard, you do all these exercises, you do all the things, and somehow you're not getting better, or maybe you're even getting worse. Here's what I want you to understand. The effort is not the problem. If this is the picture that we're seeing, it's not that you're not trying hard enough. It's that the thing you're doing is actually not the solution. So I hope that gives you a little sense of relief of, okay, I thought maybe I just wasn't doing it hard enough, or I thought I wasn't being consistent enough, or I thought maybe it's just something about me, because obviously it worked for her. I want to give you just a huge virtual hug. Most of the time for the moms that I see postpartum, what I would recommend is not to jump into a bunch of strengthening exercises. That would actually make my patients worse and not better. And I want to explain some of the science behind that so that you understand the reality, because so many things are just oversimplified. And a lot of the women who are presenting these kinds of exercises and programs have good intentions, but they have not done the actual research. They have not done the education. They don't understand the whole nitty-gritty behind it or how all of our body systems work together. They're just looking for a simple Band-Aid fix of let's strengthen the pelvic floor. But the reality is we are a brain, a nervous system, a heart, hormonal systems, we are organs, we are ligaments, tissues, bones, muscles, all of these things working together. We are not just muscles, right? And so most of the moms that I see postpartum, and again, this is not intended to be medical advice, intended to diagnose or treat. I'm not talking specifically about your case. I'm talking generally the moms that I see. So many of us postpartum actually have a nervous system that is way upregulated, very stuck in the sympathetic nervous system. We are not peaceful and calm. We just went through labor, which is a really intense event. It's beautiful and wonderful, but it is very intense. We are not sleeping well at all. Our nervous system is actually designed to kind of upregulate, right? So we can hear baby, so we wake up easily, so we can breastfeed, so we can get that established well. Like, there are reasons why our nervous system gets so upregulated, but it is very challenging to actually heal in that upregulated state. So what I typically do with these patients, first and foremost, is we calm the nervous system. That is my first focus, is we are calming that nervous system from a sympathetic fight or flight state of alert, of hyper vigilance, down to a neutral. We're calming our nervous system. We're doing a lot of regulation techniques. We're doing a lot of body check-in stuff so that we can kind of sense where we are. We're putting in a lot of strategies, a lot of techniques to actually help bring that nervous system down to a calm state. Because if we don't get down to a calm state, it is very challenging to actually heal. It's even more challenging to even strengthen. I like to explain this as, if you were doing bicep curls, right? And you get to where your bicep's stuck in this position, I'm not going to get a lot of strengthening out of this bicep. The first thing I have to do is work on actually relaxing that bicep. Then I'm probably going to have to focus on healing that muscle tissue that has been so rigid for so long and so stuck. We're going to focus on healing. After we've calmed our nervous system, we're going to focus on healing. Fantastic nutrition, perhaps supplements, depending on other providers that are involved that can speak more specifically to the supplements that would be helpful for them. This is where hair tissue mineral analyses can be helpful, a lot of really specific tests, so we're not just guessing and throwing random supplements at a mom, that we're making sure that what we are recommending is actually very beneficial for her. We are focusing on, bone broth, on Nor-T, we're really focusing on high quality nutrition, getting that collagen and getting protein, getting all the vitamins and minerals that have been depleted throughout pregnancy and labor. We're really restoring the health, right? So first step, we're calming our nervous system. Then we're actually healing. We're healing the body so that we can begin to strengthen. That's actually my third step. I do not go to strength first because it doesn't work. Third, once we have calmed and healed, then we begin strengthening. And we are not just strengthening the pelvic floor. We're not just strengthening the core. It's also really essential that we're doing those things correctly, because so many of the moms that I work with, they have just seen some Instagram reel or something, and so they're doing Kegels and things based on what they saw, but they're not actually activating the correct muscles. And it's like anything. When you practice something, that's what your body gets used to, right? So you might be working super, super hard at, doing Kegels or strengthening your core, but you're not actually activating the correct muscles. And the more that you do the wrong exercise, or you do that exercise incorrectly, the more it just gets ingrained in your body that that's how we do it. And it actually becomes even more challenging to undo that and then teach it the correct way. It absolutely can be done. I do it all the time. Our bodies are very resilient, but it is more challenging to undo the wrong things and then teach the right things than to just do the right things from the beginning. So that is one of the reasons why I really advocate seek out professional support, somebody who's actually been trained in this, who has education in this, who can guide you through these processes correctly so that you can just reap the benefits that much quicker and simpler and easier. So third step for me is strengthening. We're actually addressing the weaknesses that are actually there because they've been assessed. So we actually know whether they're weaknesses or not. We were working on coordination between the pelvic floor and the core. We're working on coordination between the glutes, the quads, the pelvic floor, the core, all of these. I mean, it's much more intricate than just doing Kegels. So again, that's where professional support is so important because it is tailored specifically to your unique needs. Then once we have strengthened, my step 4 is to really challenge that system, because I can give you Kegels and send you out the door, but then when your toddler's throwing a fit and throwing themselves, and then you try to, grab the bottle and you twist funny, and now you have back pain. Well, we didn't really train for that, right? We just did Kegels. That's a really simple, straightforward movement. So I really am passionate about challenging that system in ways that we're actually going to be challenged in real life, so that when you actually have those challenges in life, you're like bulletproof. You are ready for those things. So that is the 4-step process that I go through with my patients that I see actually heals them for good. It gives them really robust systems. We also work a lot on being practical and realistic with what that mom is going through in her life. So like for me, I have 4 under 4. My husband works long hours, and I also run a practice. So I've got a lot of crazy moving parts in my life. I cannot dedicate 2 hours a day to exercise. I cannot even dedicate 1 hour a day to exercise. It's impossible. I know what my challenges are going to be. I know the things that are going to make it easier for me to let my health slip through the cracks. And so we implement very specific systems for this is how we make sure that this is a lifestyle change, that this sticks, that we are healthy, we're good. We are thinking 20 years down the road, how are we going to make this work? Not just today, not just this week. We want to make this stick. We want to build the mom that you will be for your children for the next 20 years. That's the kind of mission that I have. That's what I work with my patients that I treat. So I hope that helps kind of get you through why am I working so hard and I'm not seeing results? What's going on? I'm doing all the TikTok and Instagram videos. Why am I not feeling better? That's why. That's the science behind it. And that's the science that actually works. And if this resonates with you and you're thinking, I need to hear a little more about how that works, I would be thrilled if you would join us on August 1st. We're going to have a Stop Missing the Motherhood You Prayed For experience. It's a free 1-hour experience for moms. We're going to really talk about some of this science, not in a super boring sciencey way, but in a real practical way so that you understand what's going on. You understand why these things don't work. You understand what will work. And we are going to leave with solutions. You're going to walk out of that 1 hour having tangible solutions you can start today to actually start healing, instead of just wasting more of your time and feeling more frustrated, because ain't nobody got time for that, right? We want to actually understand our bodies, how the Lord designed our beautiful, wonderful bodies, and actually feel better and actually show up as the mom that we know He created us to be. So if you're interested, there is a link in the bio. You can also comment August, and I will send you details to sign up for that. Absolutely free. It's just something I'm really passionate about that I want to educate moms on. If you're a practitioner who serves moms, I would love to have you as well. I'm going to have a cheat sheet that you can share with your clients and your patients if it sounds like something that would be helpful for her. Because again, my goal is to actually heal moms, to give them that empowerment. I do want to tell you that for me, scripture is one of the things that really helps me embody these things instead of just see them in the abstract. And so the Bible verse that I would love to share with you this week and that I would encourage you to meditate on is Matthew 11:28-30. So this is where Jesus is talking about casting your cares, your burdens on Him, that He can take them for you. Because I think so many moms are trying so hard. We're working so hard and we still aren't seeing that fruit. And that is so frustrating. And so I hope that meditating on this can be a breath of fresh air to remember that we were never meant to do all of this alone. We were never designed to do everything by ourselves, and that it is not our burden. If we actually give it to the Lord, if we have an open hand, if we ask Him for help, He is so gracious and kind. He will always help us. He will always take that burden from us. He is ready and excited to support us. And so I hope that that's an encouragement to help you embody this week. So Matthew 11, 28 through 30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I hope that that's encouraging to you. Seriously, write it on a sticky note, put it on your mirror, put it somewhere where you're going to see it really often, because as moms, we need those frequent reminders, especially if you are hearing this and you're finding that you are stuck in that upregulated nervous system state where you are snappy, you're having mood swings, you're feeling a lot of pain, you're frustrated, you don't know what's going on, you don't have a solution yet. I hope that's just a breath of fresh air. And then come join us August 1st. Learn about this. Learn some techniques to walk out the door with, to actually heal your nervous system and your body, and to actually be the mom that you know God created you to be, instead of the mom who is barely surviving and missing out on all the beautiful, wonderful things right in front of her and do not know how to break that cycle. It was fantastic talking to you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and God bless.